Welcome to the BBC, a WAXcast based on collaboration, not competition. Between both cheeks is a world filled with beauty, bums, and billions of bucks. The hosts of the BBC are Luba, the badass boss bitch, creator and owner of international brands and beauty salons.
I feel like it was like a bad one-night stand.
Becca,
the once newbie and now experienced enforcer who's hatched out of her egg and manages business with authority and a smile.
No more like, I'm going to take on the world.
Welcome to the BBC.
Bring me your balls.
Okay. Welcome to Between Both Cheeks. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are actually filming and podcasting remotely because of the lovely coronavirus.
Yes.
Coronavirus. So we're both in Vancouver, but I was ordered by Canadian government that I needed to be quarantined for 14 days by myself. So yeah, I literally need to be all by myself, or else.
Or what will happen?
Or else, if I'm caught outside, and in Canada, they're being like super crazy about it. They actually have roadblocks, and I can be fined up to $1 million or 3 years in prison.
I thought Canadians were nice.
I know. And so they literally, like, when I got off the plane, they said to me, like, we now need to serve you. And I was like, what? And then they just started rambling like this whole Canadian law. And that was it. And I was kind of like, well, how would they know? Or like, what would be up with it? So I told Jake, because I thought, like, I didn't think it was a joke. I don't want to say it was a joke, but I just thought it was really, really extreme.
Yeah.
And no, it's a real thing.
They can actually do that? Fine
Yeah.
$1 million?
$1 million or 3 years in prison.
Crazy.
So how's your week been, Becca?
I'm going stir crazy. I've been at home for, I think, 3 weeks now, mostly, because I was sick for a week, so I was working from home for a week anyways, and then they ordered quarantine, and then the stores closed. So I've been home almost all of March, and I'm running out of things to clean and to cook and to do.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so this has been a huge impact on all non-essential businesses. So we tried to actually stay open for the longest time. We got a lot of hate for that. we got a lot of love. We have to look at the positive and the negative.
Yeah, we did get some.
People were very happy, and we were fortunate in Vegas when they first said, we suggest that you shut down, when the governor said, we suggest that you shut down, and it wasn't mandatory. We decided to stay open because obviously our girls work on tips. That's where the majority of their money comes from. We've got 2 single mothers in Vegas. So that's important to support them and their families. And that's why I started the business, was to help young women in this business and support them as much as I could. So, we did a freaking conference call. I remember I called you and I was like, you need to get all the girls together now. And poor Chloe was like, I have a client in room 2. I was like, yeah, he's going to have to wait. And we said, like, it came down and we have to close our doors tonight at midnight. But we had a few days. We did have a few days, and we did send out an email saying that we were going to stay open. And these are the reasons why. And the reasons why were, A, we wanted to support our girls as best we could to the very end. And B is, we not only have a company in the US, but we have a company in Canada, and healthcare standards in Canada are higher than the US. And we know that from creating product with FDA and Health Canada. And then there's EU standards, which is the highest. So our standards are already very, very high. The bare requirements in Nevada. So we felt very confident, and we haven't changed. Like, there was a lot of emails going around that was like, oh, we're doing this and we're doing that. That freaks me out.
Yeah, why were you not cleaning and like getting up
at the beginning? Like, okay, that kind of freaks me out. So we sent out an email with that. Some people called in and they're like, thank you so much. And then we got a lot of hate. I didn't read
It come from valuable clients.
this, and this is what was interesting, right? I do want to talk about a little bit about the hate, though, because I didn't see some of them in Vancouver, but I saw the ones. I went in early into the Vegas store because I was like, I don't want the girls to read this. Like, it's already a really difficult time for them. Their job is possibly on the line as far as laying them off. So I didn't want to stress them out. So I was reading them, but I got that I should be in prison. I got that I'm a greedy ass business owner. I don't value my employees and I'm putting them in harm. Yeah. Take me off your mailing list. I don't support a business that doesn't support it. Oh, and the best was, and she had actually forwarded it to the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, saying, I'm reporting you to the police department right away. This is ridiculous. Take me off your mailing list. And I was like, people.
The police are more concerned with other things right now. Like, they're definitely an essential business and a worker. Like, they're up there with firemen and paramedics and doctors and nurses. Like, do you think they're going to be going through their emails and being like, oh, this wax salon is open, this coffee shop is open, oh my God, we need to storm them? No.
And especially like when it wasn't even mandatory. And that was the thing, is that people heard, and people are very sheep-like, where they hear something and they take it as something else. No one really digs deep to do their homework on, no, it was suggested that we close if we wanted to close. It wasn't mandatory at that time. Of course, when it became mandatory by the governor, we closed and we abided to that. But we had the choice to stay open. But a lot of places didn't, and they didn't know that, and they just hear that the governor says it's his recommendation and everyone needs to close. Vegas got, in that one day, they got 800 911 calls just from people reporting non-essential businesses when it wasn't mandatory to close.
Clogging up the phone lines for actual emergency.
And that's what they said. Like, please don't call 911. It is not mandatory at this time for non-essential businesses to close. We need to keep those lines open for real emergencies.
Yeah, or people who are sick and need an ambulance ride.
Yeah. So then when the mandate came down in Vegas, it came down around like 11:30 noon on Friday, I think it was, the last Friday. And we had called an emergency meeting with all the girls. And I said to them, okay, so we've got two choices right now. We can close at 8 o'clock, or we can all work till 11:30 tonight and call everyone on the books that we can and open up all the rooms and have all the waxperts working.
Yeah.
And everyone in the Vegas store was like, yes, let's do this.
Yeah. And even people who weren't scheduled to work that day drove into work and stayed until 11:30. So I think that shows how much they appreciated trying to give them extra hours and extra income.
Yeah. And the clients that came in, because we were booked right till the end, the clients that came in were so grateful that we were able to still take them and that we called and we did something about it. So we did have a lot of love as well, not just the nasty emails that we got. But going back to what you were saying, Becca, about, the people that did write in and were freaking out. I remember I had called you and I was like, you know that saying, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best? Yeah. I was like, yeah, we're kind of going to go with that, because it's not that I'm no longer going to take someone in my business as a client because they don't agree with us, but everyone is entitled to their opinion and how they run their business. Even with our staff, we had said to them, everyone, and even in Vancouver, if you guys are uncomfortable coming to work, then you don't have to. Like, we could lay you off at any time. No one is level being like, and that means ever. Like, if you're not happy here, like, no one should ever be put in a situation, coronavirus or not, to have to come to a job that they don't want to come to, or they don't feel safe, or whatever it is.
Comfortable at, or respected, or
So we said, whoever, and everyone was like, no, we want to continue to come. No one was sick. right? You were the one that wasn't feeling well much earlier. I just said, well, stay home.
I had just a sinuses cold, though. It wasn't corona.
No.
But just in case, because if I went to work sick and clients saw me, they would have, like, lost their shit.
It was a bigger deal than, like, the usual coming in with a bit of a cold.
Yeah, normally I would have gone to work.
But yeah, we gave everyone the choice if they wanted to come, and that's what we said, like, listen, so we can all work here till 11:30 and take all these clients. And they were like, yeah, let's go, let's do this. So then when we started to look through, when I thought about it the next day after we were getting like all this hate and stuff, I was like, no, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper in these people that are being just really rude. Just delete my email if you don't agree with it, unsubscribe, do whatever.
Yeah.
We're just
don't return as a client, like, it's fine.
Yeah. So we started to go through the people, and what did we find out?
We could see their history, that either they're not a repeat client, or if they were, it was from many years ago. Like, I think out of all of the replies that we got back that were a bit rude and nasty, the most recent somebody had been was like 2015.
Yeah.
So that's just wild to me, because I can't imagine getting an email from a waxing salon I went to 5, 6, 7 years ago and not agreeing with their business practice and writing them back when I'm not a regular client. I have no relationship with them. I gave them my money years ago and I've never been back since. Like, that's just so weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we saw that. We had one person that was like semi-regular that wrote back, but they were a bit more constructive and not so nasty. But everybody else were not regular clients or really old clients.
Yeah. So what I found in Vegas was the most revenue that a client brought in, out of the ones that were complaining, was less than $60.
Oh,
was
yeah.
the highest revenue client that was like, I'm reporting you, I'm never coming back. And I was like, you haven't been here since 2013. So
that's fine.
you weren't coming back for a long time. So we went ahead and unsubscribed them from text and email ourselves. And we copy and pasted their emails into their profiles, and we banned them.
Yeah. And that goes back to firing clients. What's your criteria that you accept as a client?
Yeah. And we did get some emails and some DMs from some businesses in regards to this whole coronavirus thing and how are you handling it, and people freaking out about rent and all of these things, and clients. And I think a lot of them too were put in a situation of, do we stay open while we can? What's the right answer? We've never been put in this situation before.
Of course.
And I think that, this is something else to bring up to them, is they know their business better than anyone. And this is, I've preached this to our wholesale clients. And I think it was the email that we actually sent out, like, I'm not sending an email to tell you how to run your business or how to clean your store. You guys are already successful business owners. Here are some ideas on how I got through the recession. Like, let's start talking about what we can do to help each other now, and not worry about what people are thinking about if we've closed or if we've stayed open. So I'm a huge believer, and you know your business better than anyone. Stick to what you believe in. And if you have to let go clients, then let them go. There's a phrase that says the trash will take itself out.
Yeah, and it did.
And those clients, now we get to pay less in our email marketing. We get to pay less in our text message marketing to simply just take them off. I don't want that negativity in my store.
Yeah.
There was no reason for them to respond the way that they did, based on just don't come in, unsubscribe.
Yeah. You don't need to say anything. If you don't like it, just don't say anything at all. Like,
right?
No, you have no place. And it was funny because I was telling my roommate who works in the service industry that we were firing clients because of their response to us staying open in our email. And she was absolutely shocked that you could do that. Because in service, anybody that will give you money, you take. If they walk in the door, doesn't matter if they're rude, doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes before you close, doesn't matter if they're a party of 30 with no reservation, you just smile and you take them. And then with us, she was so shocked that first my boss would allow me to fire clients, so that's like a pretty regular thing in the industry. And I explained it to her. I was like, well, if part of my job as being manager of the staff in the stores is being responsible for the culture, which we've talked about before, that also extends to the clients and the kind of people we want to do business with. And that goes back to your goal of having a safe and fun work environment for women. Not necessarily everyone belongs in those doors. Most people do, and all of our clients are great. But if somebody comes in and they're nasty or they're rude to any of the girls or they make them feel uncomfortable or there's any kind of sexual misconduct or theft, like, we ban them straight away because we respect the business and the people who work there and what it means to them to have a place like that to go every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Chloe. She was going through some of the emails and she was like, kind of, I could see her eyes like welling up with tears. And she's like, I can't, Luba. Like, there's these emails, like, I just can't read anymore. And I was like, screw that. Like, no, you shouldn't have to read this. You shouldn't have to see that. Like, you're the one who's coming in, trying to earn a paycheck, taking care of your daughter, taking care of your family. Like, no. And I couldn't even imagine if I wasn't there to deal with it and they had to. Like, at least both doors had like you and me to go and get rid of those emails, deal with those clients. I remember when we decided to stay open in Vegas, I canceled my entire week that week. I was literally just there for damage control. I didn't know people were going to come. Like, some of the emails were so aggressive that I was like, I don't know if people are going to come into the store and start screaming.
Yeah.
So I canceled all my meetings, all my workout sessions. Like, I was there literally from way before opening and some nights I left a couple hours before closing because I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. Everyone's coming in. They're tipping well. They're being grateful. They're being kind. There's like good energy in the store. I'm good to leave a little bit. Or I would stop, like, get out and grab something to eat and come back right away and eat in my office. But I was actually scared that the girls would have to deal with crazy stuff. I mean, people in our complex, other business owners, were bringing guns to work. And that is so, you and I have talked about that, Becca, like, that is so foreign to us.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I also, like, saying this out loud, I have to kind of laugh a little bit because I'm like, what am I going to do in my 3-inch heels? Like,
if they get close enough, that's a weapon.
I know. Like, when I actually say it out loud, I was like, I was going to be there to protect the girls. Like, with what?
Attitude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just scream at them and kick them out.
It wouldn't be the first time, but and then Vancouver, my lights went out. Wait. The Vancouver store, we didn't really get that opportunity because we found out on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
That it was
closure, I think.
Same day closure, and it had to be by, I think, 6 or 8 p.m. 8 p.m. I think it was. We were already closing at 6. We couldn't call like anyone else in for a couple hours. Clients wouldn't be able to get there in time, so we unfortunately didn't have that same
extra cushion.
Yeah, same opportunity for, the girls to make some extra money, the store to put some extra money in the accounts, and so that was kind of crummy, but yeah. And
so
it's
compared to 2008, what is the biggest difference to this right now, or similarity?
So in 2008, I had people that wanted to work. Which, I'm not saying that I don't have people that want to work now, because I do want to work, but I wasn't in a situation that was mandated by the government, like you can't have any employees. What I dealt with in 2008 was I was opening up in a recession and people didn't have money to spend necessarily. The economy wasn't doing well. There was definitely people that were spending. I think the biggest difference, closing the stores and removing all the stock and taking out the TVs because of looting and stuff like that. Like, this is a whole other world to me that I wasn't really prepared for. And just being like really creative in other ways that we can possibly bring income in, because, we're not a clothing store where we can You can shop online for a whole bunch of different cute outfits. We can only sell so much product online. Our product lasts a really long time. So that doesn't do us as far as like, our, shower gels will last 3 months.
Yeah, it's great for clients, but then for us right now, it's like, oh, no one needs anything.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's probably the biggest difference. The one positive that I'm going to take away from this, because you always have to look at a positive in a negative situation, I think that it will finally be an employer's market.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think that there's been, and we've talked about this in other podcasts about like attitude of like people wanting to come in and, make $35 an hour and they're still in school, or, whatever the case is, like the millennial entitlement.
Yeah.
And that's been rough for like the last 2.5 years. Has been really, really tough. 2008, people were begging for jobs, like really taking whatever they could to make ends meet because they had been let go from other jobs because of the recession and stuff. I think that we will see that again because there are companies out there that maybe didn't want to, how do I want to say this? There's companies out there that cut the fat.
Yeah.
Right? So here is their opportunity to get rid of a negative team, a negative employee, a negative, whatever it may be. I mean, if I'm speaking very honestly, like I do on this podcast, if this happened to me last year, it would have been a blessing in Vegas. Yeah. It would have been an absolute blessing. My mom passed away. I had a group of women that were toxic in the environment that I tried to hold on to. That was my mistake. I would have welcomed this last year because I could have just cleaned house, closed for a few months, and then started fresh, right? Yeah. I think a positive out of this is that people have lost this is not the positive, but people have lost their jobs. And now when they come back, maybe a little more humbled and maybe a little more grateful for what they had. And I've seen this before where people have complained about a boss or a place of employment where they just continue to come back, but they're the employees that like don't look for another solution. They just live in their misery.
They just complain.
And then, and I'm actually referring to a restaurant in Vancouver. And then the restaurant closed down and they were like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm not going to make enough money on unemployment because I make tips and this. And now all of a sudden the manager and the owner weren't that bad. And they actually had it really good. And they had a really good clientele and they got major tips and they got to work the hours that they wanted and the days that they wanted. And all of a sudden their attitudes changed. And I was like, sometimes you got to look back and be like, maybe it's not so bad.
Yes.
So,
and then also realize that you have a say in making it better if you're unhappy.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that I'm kind of, and not that we're looking at this point to hire more people, because obviously everyone that we've had to lay off, which is the first time in my entire career I've had to lay anyone off, 13 years. Everyone will be coming back. Everyone does have a job to come back to. But I think it's an opportunity for other employers out there that may have went through a tough hiring period for the last few years, that there's going to be a little more humble people knocking at their door looking for work.
Yeah, and be willing to work harder. Mm-hmm. That's interesting that you bring that up. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, you might be right.
It's like the only positive that I can think of it.
Uh-huh. So in 2008, more during the recession and before the recession, did you notice businesses clearing out all their stock as afraid of looters?
Yeah. So what was crazy is we were building in our complex in Vegas and everyone was closing down. So one day you would see this, like there was I think it was like a consignment baby store, like clothing next to us. And then the next day, everything was out of the store. Wow. And you would see like restaurants like slowly shutting down. And yes, people would like come in, take a few things out, and then they'd be completely shut down. Or you'd see like the orange notices on doors, which I had never seen before. And they're basically like eviction notices.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So that was That was crazy. And I don't know if it was just like youth and stupidity that got me through it. Like being 28 and like feeling untouchable, that like, oh, I got this. Like, I'm totally going to be fine with this, or like whatever that was that got me through it. I just knew in my gut, like I was going to be okay. Like I could get through this and it was going to be okay. It was going to be a viable business and it was just going to be tough times.
Yeah.
As a Canadian, I also took advantage that our dollar was worth more in the US at that time.
Yeah, of course, as you should. Because usually it's not.
Like right now, it's really, really bad. So any business owners that actually have saved some money and have a bit of a cushion, now's the time to buy your wax pots, your anal bleaching, Bright, all of that. Now's the time for the Canadians because the dollar is Americans to buy, because the dollar is not good for the Canadians right now at all. Yeah. So we're just trying to help out those business owners that know that they're going to be busy when they open up their doors again, but need a little bit of a break right now. The other thing that we shared as well is a couple ideas on how to get some money in your door now and not getting in a rut on thinking about what's going on, because everyone's freaking about cash flow.
Yeah.
Nevada just passed a couple hours ago that commercial landlords are to give breaks to tenants.
Oh, perfect.
So that's new. So just basically to work with the tenants, come up with a plan together to defer the rent and work together on a payment plan with zero penalty, zero interest. Is what the governor had just said as of a couple hours ago. Canada's a bit of a different story. I personally find that Canada is far behind. I'm very disappointed with our government.
In terms of business, America is built for business.
Yeah. But I'm really disappointed in our prime minister and the lack of support for small business.
Oh.
Never trust a man with the first name Justin. That goes for my accountant as well.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, he used to be a drama teacher, Justin Trudeau, so that should tell you something right there.
But yeah, as far as giving the discount and stuff, it's like anything that we can do to help now, because it's a scary, scary time. We don't have the rent protection in Canada, as far as I know, as far as I've looked into. And everyone is looking to get paid, So
It just shut down the world, but it has.
And the other thing that really kills me, and I actually tweeted, so I'm so old, I tweeted. I tweeted the governor of Nevada today because I was so pissed off. I was like watching stuff online and people going into stores and stuff, and Target and Walmart are still open. Obviously, they have parts of their business that are essential. But even when I was there buying boxes to pack up the store, as soon as you walk in, which is like the sweet spot for like buying stuff, right? It's like that first kind of like, oh, it gets you to stop as you walk in. Can't remember exactly what that proper verbiage is called. They lined it with Easter baskets, plastic eggs, big plush Easter bunnies. What is essential about any of this? And then if you walk over to where the stationery stuff is, like the boxes and packing supplies, it's right by the toy aisle. And there must have been 10 people in two separate aisles. So I'm at like 20 people buying toys. And I was like, why don't you rope that shit off?
Yeah, that's not essential.
Because they've already roped the parks off. They've taped off parks. So why don't you tape off non-essential areas in the big boxes? Because they're the ones that are going to be okay at the end of this.
Of course.
Not small businesses, but they continue to profit on non-essential items.
Yeah. If it was the Great Depression or like wartime, that wouldn't be sold in stores as much. And you definitely can't social distance in stores. And like every grocery store I've been to, all of the rules don't apply anymore, and everyone is acting as if we were a couple weeks ago and close together and touching the same things. And so it's just a very skewed mindset that's quite different depending on the environment and the business.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Did you see that there's a Tim Hortons that got shut down downtown?
No.
Their business license got, and those of you listening that don't know Tim Hortons, it's like your guys' version of Dunkin' Donuts for Canada. But the one on Powell Street got shut down and their business license got pulled because they weren't respecting the amount of people in and social distancing.
Wow. I know that one. Right.
Do you?
Here.
Yeah, so their business license was just pulled. And as Canadians, very unlike us, it was put in the paper and they were completely shamed. Yeah. Because I read today that 14 businesses in Nevada got shut down. And I was like, oh, I want to know who they are. And they just wrote 5 liquor stores, which is interesting because liquor stores are open in BC.
Yes, they're essential.
Yeah, not Nevada, which is crazy because when I was there and the mandate had happened, they were still open. There was one gym that got closed down. And then I think there was a couple salons or something. But they just named like 5 liquor stores, 3 salons, 1 gym. They didn't say who they were. I was like trying to dig, but I couldn't find anything.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm trying not to read the news right now, but that Tim Hortons in normal times is quite crowded because that's near the homeless area in Vancouver, and a lot of homeless people will walk in those stores asking people to buy them food or money or whatever, and usually they have to have a security guard at the door of that Tim Hortons to keep them out. So I wonder if part of why they were overcrowded was because of people like barging in there and asking for money.
Well, if any time to have a security guard, now would be the time for them.
Yes, exactly. They're doing it regularly too. So as a business owner, what advice or tips and tricks would you have for other business owners right now who are closed and are a service-based business that requires in-person contact to hustle a little bit?
So we just sent out an email in regards to this, and I'm just going to go through some of the ideas that helped me through the recession, but we kind of put like a little tweak on it for what's happening in the world today. So one of them is gift card top-ups. So for example, I think we just recently did a new one that if you buy a $50 gift card, you get a free facial, which is an $80 value. And then we added on to that as well.
Yeah. So matching purchases?
Yeah, so matching purchases. One thing that I do want to talk about this, though, that business owners need to remember. I know, Becca, you were telling me that there was a salon out there that was extremely successful with it. She actually sold $15,000 worth of gift cards in less than a month.
Yeah. Insane. I don't know how.
Yeah, really, really successful. One of the things, I mean, and that's really great when you have no revenue coming in. One of the things that business owners need to remember is gift cards are liabilities. So when you sell a huge amount, it's great. It's like your packages, right? It's really, really great. You get a good amount of money in the bank right away. There's cash flow. Cash is king. This is all looking good. Then let's say that people, for whatever reason, when we come out of this pandemic, all of that $15,000 comes in all at once. Now you've got another cash flow problem because they're just using that gift card. So it's really important for business owners to plan for that. So and during any time, like whether it be Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, when you're selling a lot of gift cards, it's really important to track that and to budget for it, because you can't say on the phone, like, will you be paying for a gift card? We're not going to be able to take you because we need money in our till.
Yeah.
How they're going to pay, and you can get super excited about having a really great sale. And then they pull out a gift card and you're like, oh my God, this is like, I got this money 3 months ago and now I'm not going to get anything for it. So one of the things with that, yes, it is a good idea to get some money in the bank now, but always budget that it is a liability for a business.
Yeah, and track it in your sales sheet so that when you go back and you look back quarterly or annually, that you can see 1 month maybe was really quite high because you did a sale or a promotion like that where the client got prepaid value, and then the next months maybe were lower because they're using that prepaid value later on.
Exactly. Yeah. So super, super important. We are doing curbside pickup for staycations at home. So kind of putting together like a spa experience. And one thing that we're kind of focused on is everyone is doing the Netflix and chill, but they still want to take care of themselves and their skin. So we're doing a lot of like masks and moisturizers and stuff like that. So people can still email us. We're still checking phone lines. We're still checking our DMs, our emails. And if anyone wants to purchase something, then we can do a curbside pickup once a week.
Yep.
And organize that with you, or we can also ship it out to you. So that's something that you can offer. You can also put together packages, right? So you can do a cleanser, toner, moisturizer, a treatment in there, and offer some sort of value or gift card with that. You can do a social media challenge. So we did this with our neighbors in Vegas, where we kind of paired up with some other local businesses near us and did a giveaway via Instagram. And we said, tag someone that deserves it during this time. So there was food in there, there was clothes in there, there was hair products, a gift card to us, a mask from us. So shout out to Sweat Store. Is it LV? I need to make sure I'm saying that right.
I think so. At Sweat Store LV.
Mm-hmm.
The Sweat Store?
Yeah. Greens and Proteins and Blowout Rules.
Yeah.
They were all partners with us for that. Did I miss one? No, that was it. And then us. Yeah. So we did like a giveaway, and that just kind of helps you gain some followers. And the biggest thing, that reason why we did it was there was just so much negativity all over social media that I was like, let's do something positive and let's tag people that, you know, that really deserve it, whether they've lost their jobs or they're having a difficult time or they're going through some depression or whatever that is. Like, let's tag them and give them something to get excited about forward to.
Yep.
So that's another idea. Offer online purchase discounts. So hopefully most businesses are set up to have some sort of online purchasing. Earth Day is April 22nd. So we were already offering a promotion that day. Hopefully we will be back open, but if not, keep your promotions going and just focus on tweaking them so it works with what's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, really important, is take webinars and use this time to learn to better yourself. Don't get stuck in a rut. It's really easy to get in your own head and feel sorry for yourself during this time, because it's rough, especially the business owners that have had to lay people off. It's really scary. Or if you're like the main breadwinner or the main source of income and stuff like that, it's really, really scary. So just keep active and do all the webinars and anything that you can get out there to better yourself in your trade or your career. But yeah, that's kind of my tips.
So what are you doing while you're at home to better yourself and not get stuck in a rut?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was stuck in a rut for a few days. It was hard to like come back home and like my eating went to shit. Like food is my drug of choice. So like my eating is kind of went out of control, and my workouts are like non-existent. If I don't have an appointment with a trainer, I don't do anything. And if I work out with my fiance, Jake, then we just argue that it is because I see a trainer and he's not the expert. So I put myself out, I took myself out of a comfort zone, and Becca, you and I did voice lessons yesterday.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So shout out to the Actors Studio. But we did like a virtual voice lesson for the podcast to see how we could like better ourselves. And that was a gift from Katrina from FNGR for my birthday that we used. So that was like, I was sweating in that because it's very outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I am contacting absolutely everyone, every company to see if we could take advantage of any sort of small business loans or grants with the interest rate being almost at zero. Any sort of deferrals that we can get. Working on emails with you in regards to, how we can continue to help the industry, motivate them. And then just a lot of behind the scenes stuff with Bright and the launch of our new line, because no matter what's happening in the world, our product is still going to be here in a couple of weeks. that's coming. That's something that can't be stopped, and all of that. So just trying to focus on that. Obviously, my relationship, because I've got way more time to spend with Jake right now. I think there's going to be a lot of divorce lawyers that are going to be very busy once this is over.
Sure. Divorce lawyers and a lot of babies being made.
The quarantinis.
Oh, that's
coronials. What is it? Coronials. Coronials.
It'd be like the baby boomers, but
it will be
war.
It will be. And then I've been doing some like virtual brunch dates with my girlfriends. So I had one today.
Cute.
I had a virtual couples date with my lawyer and his wife last night. And then tomorrow night, I've got a virtual date with my gays.
Cute.
I'm drinking more than usual too. But yeah, just trying to do something like that. But what about
social?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thankful right now that I live with a roommate and not by myself. So, and she's laid off right now, so we've been hanging out at home all the time, and she is baking up a storm because she stress bakes.
Okay. And do you still eat?
Yeah, so it's great. I have an endless supply of cookies.
I want some cookies. Jake's been making bread like crazy.
Oh, yeah, now she's thinking about bread too. Bread takes longer, but I don't know. We'll see. And I've put in an application to foster cats because all of the animal shelters, the employees can't go to work right now, but they still have all these animals that need medication or love and attention. So I've got nothing but time right now. So I've sent in an application. And where I live right now, it's a house that's been split up into many different units. So the apartment across from me right now is actually empty. Okay. But it's technically ours, according to the city of Vancouver, because the landlord is a bit sketchy. Okay. So I have a whole other apartment to house as many cats as they will let me have.
I can't. I'm going to start calling you Carol.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Okay. Have you seen
Tiger King?
Yeah.
Yes, I finished it last night, actually.
Oh my. I didn't know that people like that existed.
I didn't know that many people like that existed, and they were all known to each other.
So crazy. Like, so beyond crazy. Oh my God. I can't.
Yeah. So, and then I heard with my love for cats, but not as crazy. And not for the big ones.
How is your cat going to react by having other cats around?
Other cats? She's lived with another cat before, so I know she has it in her. But it will take a couple of weeks to warm up because she's scared. She's not mean. She's just a scaredy cat, but she tries to be mean. Yeah. So she'll probably like hiss at them and hide, but I'll keep them separate for the first bit anyways because the shelters recommend that so that the foster cats can get acclimatized to their situation and get to know you and like the layout of the house. So I'll keep them separate and she'll probably hate it, but she doesn't like getting all of the attention all day long anyways, so I need something to do.
She's a cat.
Yeah, she'll handle it for a little bit, and then she gets quite annoyed, so.
She's like, pet me with your eyes.
Yes, yeah, exactly. She's a diva. I love it, though.
So I went into like a deep black hole of TikTok. Deep hole. Yeah, like it's not a thing. I'm like watching young boys dance sexually.
That's what it is, though, really.
Like 22, like not in a weird way. Like 20, not like in a pedophile way.
They're just TikTok famous, so who else are you gonna watch than the skilled athletes?
Yes, yeah. The game, all the sports are gone. So I mean, not that I watch sports.
Right, they are.
Yeah,
we were tagged on TikTok by somebody who made a video at one of our salons before we even had TikTok. So
was that Joseph?
Yes.
Was it? Okay, so cool. I didn't know that it was before we had TikTok. I thought we already had it.
I think it was before.
I love it.
He did it just all on his own, which was super cool. And then there were lots of comments on his video of people asking more questions about the service. He had high frequency done.
Yeah.
So that's given us a lot of ideas to be more active on TikTok, and maybe different educational videos that we can do that people don't know about.
Yeah. Cool. Good.
So follow us on TikTok at WAXHR.
That's right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of this crazy episode of Between Both Cheeks. Make sure that you listen to us on
iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere else that you listen to your podcasts. We also post it on our YouTube channel
at Between Both Cheeks. Slide into our DMs at WAXHR or Between Both Cheeks. Write us, tell us what you're doing right now during this crazy time and what's keeping you sane. And until next time, good night from Vancouver. Quarantine.
Happy isolation.
Happy isolation.